So I'm delighted to have our guest here today. I'd just like you to introduce yourself and where you're from.
Cool. So my name's Jake Roberts. I'm a soul indie artist from Bathgate in West Lothian, Scotland. Normally, I'm based in Glasgow for uni, but obviously that's happened with coronavirus, so I'm still in Bathgate at the moment.
So you're an artist, mate, that's extremely unique in the best manner possible. I love how you're establishing yourself in a manner that's different from a lot of upcoming artists with your sound. Did that still come quickly when you started making music?
Yes, I appreciate that. But so when I first started writing music, I actually started writing heavy metal and acoustic stuff like that. So I started off a completely different direction to where I am now. And sort of like over time, I sort of started to find this more like indie pop style, this indie rock style. So it took like 2 or 3 years just to get around about like writing just like how I actually write my melodies, write like what that actually sound like genre wise. But I guess like vocally and like lyrically, the theme's always been the same, like always write the same ideas and stuff. So I guess like over time, eventually, I just created like what I am now, like an indie pop artist with just like these depressing, not meaningful vocals. So
And see, like, was it something that you kind of set out today from the beginning? Like, was that a style that you always intended to go for at one point, or was it just kind of blown into it?
I guess like a non-memorable like experiences I had, just like experiences, thoughts. So always like throughout, just like I always kept the idea, just sort of like just keep it realistic, just keep like what like lyrics actually mean something to me, not like some story I made up thing. So everything I write is always like based like some experience in my life, and it just happened to be that way. So
So when I was listening through your material, I was seeing a lot of subtle nods to music from the like, say, Dire Straits, Tom Petty, and Bob Dylan, for example. What influences have shaped your music?
I appreciate you saying that. Like I actually look up to those guys, so I actually appreciate you think that way. But I guess like when I started off music, obviously like I was like heavy metal stuff, so like I was listening to like Bring Me Horizon stuff at the time. I don't really take that much influence from them now, and so like they weren't like what influenced my later stuff. But I guess like the first artist I probably looked into that influenced why I am is Sam Fender. Literally, I saw him at the Smallest Tin in 2018 at Leeds Festival, and he was brilliant. And like I thought like listening to his music all the way through, and like songs like Dead Boys have like such a meaning to me. Just like the way he writes the melody, what the lyrics mean, and the background, I just really looked up to that. So I always just sort of like kind of aimed my music to be sort of like it's. I sort of just like the way he writes stuff, the way he like showcase himself. It's finding really inspiring. So I guess over time, I always just kept the idea through sort of like his themes and like whatnot, just take inspiration from them to influence my music. But obviously, over time, things changed. I sort of became like more indie pop. So started looking into like more bands like Swing School, Vistas, Rescas, like bands like that. I'm taking a lot more influences from because I like their style. Like I find what they write catchy and like it kind of like attracts the listener instantly. It's like I kind of just like, okay, right, what did they do that I could like that I can take inspiration from? Like what did they do that I like? Like this guy that's like I just like kind of find parts like what artists and bands like and just try and help it influence mine, which gets me working at the moment, so can't really complain.
So another thing that stood out to me was the strength and maturity of your sound at such a young age. Do you treat your lyrics as equally as important as the music that goes with it?
Aye, so obviously like I want the listener who listens to my song, like my lyrics, to like take something from it and like sort of be like, this is me, this is my story. And obviously it's sort of like as well, sort of like I always kind of think the first thing someone pays attention to in a song is the lyrics. Because obviously like, it's like listen to a song with crap lyrics, no one's gonna really care. So like normally like what I do is like I write the song first and then write the lyrics. I'll take time to listen to the track. So I'll get like an idea, like just get in my head like, hey, what do I want the song to be about? What kind of like what kind of vibe I get from this song? And kind of match the lyrics to be like that, taking influences from like my background, just like stuff happening at the time, like what I'm feeling, and kind of incorporating to the lyrics. So when someone listens to the song, say, they can just kind of be like, okay, right, this is what you mean, this is like what he's experiencing. So
And I think like a lot of artists tend to follow that process where it's like they kind of capture the mood, how they're feeling in a song, and then the words and just follow suit, you know.
yeah.
And something I'm always interested to ask people is, see, like for example, when you start writing your lyrics, do you find it like a challenge to keep it consistent the full way through? Like, say you've wrote half a song and you're like, I need to finish this off now. Is that a pain for you, or are you quite intrigued with doing that and enthusiastic about it?
I pretty much like when I start writing songs, I'll be like, okay, right, I'll spend an hour doing it, just be like, okay, right, I'll start now, get it done in an hour's time. Like once I start something, like I'll get it done. And like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Like sometimes like with writing songs, if I did that technique, it actually just worked because like I had idea right, everything just was right and just worked out. Other times just completely was just garbage and just made no sense. So it's kind of like for like more layer stuff, I sort of just like take more time, sort of just like I'll just add like bits and bobs there to sort of like so it's like sort of like a more over time view of the lyrically. And it's sort of just like if I don't like something, I can just change and restart it. So like wasn't rushed, it was more just like with a flow and worked out. Cause like obviously like no, obviously like it's a give or take. I know like some folk who like writes like who like writes lyrics in 5 minutes, like on one hit. Our folk who write lyrics over like a year's time, it's on one hit. And just kind of just like, you know, just kind of just based on like what suits you. But I'm starting to just like obviously take more time just to change the style up a wee bit and just have like more thoughts into the lyrics, which seems to be working, so can't complain.
Aye, and say in terms of like going back to songs, do you find it easy to like kind of get capture the feeling again? Because you know how when you're writing a song, coming back into it can take a wee while to actually understand what you were doing at the time you're writing it.
Oh, I like I think like one of those ones probably like once you're like writing the song into it, like, obviously you're in the moment, like you're just like on point, you know what you're doing, right, and all that stuff. And obviously, like, if you do like comebacks over different days, some days you won't have the same motive or like, the same energy I probably did before. So I guess for me is like sometimes I'll just have like be on point, just be able just to like write it, like just know what I'm doing, just do a good job on it. Other time I'll just come back to it one day, therefore 5 minutes, just be like, okay, right, that ain't working. So I kind of just like base, like I kind of just like basically work in songs when I would just have like the motive, get these ideas, have like how do we have it that we spark, and just be like, okay, right, this is gonna work. Know what I'm doing. Let's just go for it. But
No, so how has it been for you at the moment pushing on as an artist during a pandemic? Has it motivated you in any way with future opportunities, or has it stifled you? Would you feel?
it's kind of good for me actually, because sort of like my last headline gig was like 3 weeks before the pandemic, obviously last year in March, and it sold out. So I kind of I thanks for like become that and whatnot, but it's like I kind of decided to ask my gig, I needed a break just to like sort of just like work on myself and be like, what do I actually need to do? Like kind of make myself burn away. So when the pandemic started, I'd actually working 6 days a week in Tesco, so I didn't actually have much time to songwrite. Like when I actually was, then they're just going like, okay, right, what can I do to make myself better, and like what can I do to improve and like advance, like work myself out. So spending a lot of time just working myself in art is actually getting somewhere and like writing these new songs. And then like got to about probably July, August, I started like doing like actual like online gigs. Obviously, you know, it's like it's not the same as a gig in real life, but it's nice to be able to just to have a gig of some sorts. So like I did Suckers one, like last one for Friday night, and like that went really well. And the second one, it's quite funny. Like literally, it's like an hour set, and like halfway through, it's like Facebook live stream. I just cut out. Don't know why. It's just the app's just terrible. And my phone just crashed. Like, oh god damn it! But it's actually like it's like one of those ones. It's got me the best of it. Obviously, and just keep pushing yourself. And sort of like as well, sort of just like you kind of like promote yourself more online now. Because obviously before, it's like you just go to a gig, folk can just see you and like know your name, it's just stuff after. So it kind of works out that way. Obviously, that's not happening for the COVID. So just sort of like just looking at ways to like promote myself online, change like advertising campaigns to try and get more of an attention, to get folk interested. So I started doing that. And to be fair, like the results from my latest track, I put it up once, did like a lot better and like a lot of respects. So I just like just constantly keep building like advertising campaign, just helping like using this time, learning to do gigs and stuff, just to like the more to find time like writing music to find myself an artist, just become better. So when gigs and stuff come back, like normality comes back, I can do gigs, I can like hopefully still them all again, just create carnage and make it better than what was before. So
So, are there plans this year with your music that you would hope to achieve?
so I just been like obviously writing new music, just like obviously promote myself more. I think one thing I was been aiming for a while is just like to hit 10k streams on Spotify. Like I sort of like had that goal to like I had like some songs lined up. My aim's just like this obvious growth in artist, like and just get like my name out there more, like more, so I can just like more achieve that goal. Because it's sort of like what I'm doing is sort of just like dropping songs, and it's sort of just like just because it's obviously because like before it's like the campaign wasn't the best, like advertising wasn't the best, having that damn that people listen to it. And so I'm just like, yeah, a lot less people were streaming it. And like it's getting like a few thousand, don't get me wrong, but it's just like I always like wanted to hit a goal. So I just like my next release tops the next one, maybe one before I mean. So it's like always like that constant ladder, just like this song's better, this song's better, and this one's better. And for a while, I wasn't getting that. But obviously, Friday Night Dancing, when that one dropped, it brought that back. So I'm just kind of just like, okay, right, how do I do what that one did and just like grow more as an artist, hit 10,000 streams? Because that'd be the goal for me to have like one song hit 10K. And obviously, as well as like have a gig announced for Sneaky Pete's in November. I'm hoping that goes ahead, but obviously it's COVID, so we never know. And it might get rescheduled again. But like, the whole goal is that I just sort of like just keep releasing music, or like have like release these songs I'm working on, get them to do well, and try out Sneaky Beats to end this year in a high bang. So that's the goal, I'd say.
It's been great having you on, Jake. How can we find you online?
Aye, thanks for having me. And like, if you want to check out my stuff, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Just search up Jake Roberts to find my songs there. I'm also on Twitter. I think it's Jake Roberts, but the O is an X. It's the same for Instagram. And Facebook's just Jake Roberts Music. So if you want to catch up on updates, obviously all the socials and the catch my music, check Spotify, Spotify, iTunes, stuff like that.
That's fantastic, Jake, and I'm sure we'll hear from you soon.
And definitely. Cheers for having me.